Bendiciones. Alafia, everybody. Eshu and Satan. This is a common conversation that may come up, for those who are in Orisha tradition or look into Orisha tradition. So I thought I'd bring some light to the topic to bring more in depth, on the roles of Eshu in comparison to the roles of Satan. Is Eshu Satan? Right? So let's talk about it, family. Me, I am an Omo Eshu, so I am a child of Eshu. All right. And before we really dive into the nitty-gritty of it, it's important to understand this. Eshu is much older than Satan. I say it again. Eshu is much older than Satan. All right. So now understanding that fact and that basis, let's dig into it. Before we really can make sense of that, we got to understand Satan and the role that Satan played. When you look at Satan in the Bible and how he relates to the tradition of Christianity, the religion of Christianity, Satan at once was an exalted angel, right? Satan was the one that was, you could say, was closest to God at that time. And it came a point where Satan wanted to become God. Satan wanted to be that almighty that God was. And this caused Satan, as he rebelled in heaven, to be cast out of heaven and banished, in which he then dedicated, his existence to challenging God and leading people astray from God and the rules that God set forth for us to live by. That is Satan. That is Satan. Now, understanding that, we go to Eshu. When we dive into who Eshu is, what Eshu is, the origins of Eshu, we can get the clear picture and get the understanding that we need. Eshu is also the favorite child of God. Eshu is the favorite child of Oludumare. So in the eyes of Oludumare, Eshu takes favor. The reason for this is because Eshu was sent to earth in order to uphold the rules of Oludumare. That's a big difference between Satan and Eshu. You see, Satan defies God. Satan tries to get others to go against God or to walk in a different path than what God set forth. Eshu was sent to enforce the laws of God. Big difference, family. Big difference. Okay? Because now when you understand that difference, it starts to put things in a perspective on the nature and the personality of Eshu. You see, as Satan being the one to turn people away from God, and Eshu being the one to ensure that the powers that be, the Orisha, are following in the rules of God, it changes the whole game. But see, the problem is people don't be in the culture to really understand this. You know, people are not in the culture to fully get this picture, right? Eshu never loses favor with Oludumare. Never. Eshu never fell out of harmony with Oludumare. Never. Where, of course, Satan did. The role of this trickster, because people like to utilize that characteristic as a reason to pin Eshu to be Satan. So let's understand, why does Eshu play that role of trickster? When Ile Aye, Earth, was created, Eshu volunteered to come down to make sure things are running in order the way Oludumare wanted it to run. A part of his method of doing that was to test the Orisha. This is where this trickster energy comes into play when we're talking about Eshu. If Eshu come to Shango and trick Shango, Eshu is doing that to make sure that Shango is actually going to do what Shango is supposed to do. And if Shango does not do what Shango is supposed to do, Eshu will enforce justice. And he will also report that to Oludumare. You see, Satan, when Satan leads you astray, he's not reporting that to God. He's taking you to be a part of his army. Eshu is not taking you to be a part of his army. Eshu was already the general, because why? God appointed him to be the general. God appointed Eshu to be the general over the Orisha and the benevolent spirits that are helpful to us. And God appointed Eshu to be the general of the malevolent spirits, the ones that are harmful to us. Eshu is the general of both. Oh, it's deep. Eshu's job is to make sure that the forces of good and evil are working in a balance to create progress. You understand? That is the job of Eshu. This is why Eshu is also the leader of Ajagun. Eshu is the one who steers Osogbo or Ire to people, or moves it through the world. Oludumare loved Eshu so much that he bestowed upon him the responsibility of holding the Ashe. Eshu is who gave the Ashe to the Orisha. Satan didn't give the Ashe to nobody. You got to understand there's fundamental differences between Eshu and Satan. Having similar personalities doesn't make it the same. You understand? A firefighter can have a similar demeanor to an EMT, but a firefighter is not an EMT, and an EMT is not a firefighter. When it comes to people, why does Eshu trick people? Why? Why would Eshu, if Eshu was so holy, why would Eshu trick you? The answer is simple. Eshu does not trick people to steer them away from God. That's not why Eshu tests you. That's not why Eshu tricks you. Eshu tests people to make sure that they are who they say they are. in that they want what they say they want. This is why Eshu tricks people. I'll give you an example. You see, Eshu is the judge. Eshu is the universal policeman. Eshu is the universal contractor. You see? You make deal with Eshu and you say, Eshu, I want new house. So Eshu will listen and say, okay, he said he wants new house. Let's see if he really wants new house. And so now, in the process of you getting that new house, maybe a situation comes along where a new car presents itself. Now, you got the money to put down on a house, but ooh, that car was tempting. It had all the gadgets and gadgets that you want. And what do? You go and you buy the new car. And she would just say, I knew you didn't want that house. Don't worry about it. You wasting my time. See? That's how Eshu tricks you. Eshu trick you like this. A man say he want wife. Oh, I want a wife. I want a wife. Okay. So what will Eshu do? He will bring you a good woman. Now, while you with that good woman, Eshu will test you. All of a sudden, you start bickering with the woman. It's a problem. And within that problem, guess what happens? Temptation. A beautiful woman comes into your life, starts telling you all the things that you want to hear. Starts saying all the right things. Starts, the gold of this new woman starts to glitter, right? And what happens? You step out on that woman that you was building with. That actually would have been a good wife. And Eshu would just say, you don't want wife, you're not ready. You see? You see why you did that? You're not ready. That's how Eshu tricks you. Eshu is here to make sure that you said that you want to be a millionaire. Okay. You say you want to be a boss. Okay. Because as Eshu, I'm the boss. And now let's see. Are you really going to be a boss? And when he tests you and you don't measure up to that, guess what happens? Fail, fail. Get him out of here. He's not ready. He's not ready. Get him out of here. That's Eshu. That's Eshu. These are reasons why Eshu tricks people. These are reasons why Eshu tricks people. You know, Eshu can do it out of protecting you. Yeah, as children of Eshu, we can be testy because it's in our nature to see what people are about. We get betrayed a lot. People take us for granted a lot. That is a thing with being a child of Eshu. It just comes with that, you know. But in understanding this, he can protect you in that way. You met a new friend. Eshu will come test that person. Eshu will come test that person and make sure that they're really a good friend to you. And when they fail, Eshu will just come say, that person's no good for you all. You see, son, I just saved you from being betrayed by that person in the future with something bigger. This betrayal that they did is nothing compared to what they would have did. Eshu just saved you, but you think it's trickster. Eshu looks into a person to see their character. And then Eshu will test their character. This is also a way for people to build stronger character. There's a saying that the Christians say, God will not give you a challenge that's too big for you. So sometimes when Eshu is testing people, what is he doing? He's getting them ready for that of which they've asked for. He's getting you ready to be that boss that you asked to be that millionaire that you asked to be. He's getting you ready. But the problem is, a lot of people are really far off from being that thing. And so there's a lot of character that has to get built in order for them to become what that is. Remember, Eshu is the boss. Remember, as much as Eshu plays homeless, Eshu is the one with the bag. Maybe we get into that science another day. I just want to talk about the comparisons of Eshu and Satan. In all of this, God, Oludumare, the Almighty, loves Eshu. You know, because he plays such a pivotal role. Eshu is in constant communication with Oludumare. When you're making offerings, when you're making ebo, making a tutu, Eshu is always delivering those things to the Orisha and delivering those messages to the Orisha and delivering those messages to Oludumare and making sure everybody is in tune with what's going on. The master communicator. Eshu. Eshu lalu ogirioko baba. And these are things that people that are not in the culture do not understand. Because all they see is he's tricking people. All they see is he's directing bad things to people. But what about when he's directing ire to people and blessings? The Osogbo has to go somewhere. The Osogbo goes to who needs the Osogbo right now. The ire goes to who needs the ire right now. Eshu is the judge of that. Bang the gavel. So many things. You know, Eshu is not good or evil. Eshu is just Eshu. He can be on either side of the ball when he needs to be. He's duality. Us that are children of Eshu, we embody that. Everybody devils at times. When Eshu is tricking the Orishas and testing them, he's deviling because he's being mischievous. But is he the devil? Is he the Satan? Satan is Satan. Satan belongs to the Bible. Satan belongs to that Abrahamic paradigm. Eshu is Eshu. Eshu comes through Yoruba tradition, and Eshu is much older than Satan. I say it again. Eshu is much older than Satan. So how could he be Satan? He's older than Satan. This is what y'all got to understand. This is coming from a child of Eshu in the flesh. In the flesh. You know, Eshu and God work hook, step, and ladder with each other. Some people will say Eshu is like the subconscious of God. You see, Eshu is the expansion of the universe. Yes. Yes. If it were not from it, if it were not for Eshu, there would be no earth. Eshu played a pivotal role in the creation of what we have. If it was not for Eshu, we would not even be here. See, Satan does not play that type of role in the Bible. He's a true antagonist. Eshu plays antagonistic roles, but he's not a true antagonist. You know? He just plays the part when it needs to be played, but there's always a greater purpose for that action, for that behavior. He's not just doing it because he wants people to turn away from God. That is not what Eshu does. That is not what Eshu does. You know, Eshu does not want people to go against the laws of nature. And that's why he checks nature when he's making sure that the Orisha are doing what they said they were going to come here to do. Understanding why these things, you know, a wise Babalawu said, when you feel anger or confusion, that is Eshu letting you know that you need to look into yourself and find balance. If you're feeling fear, Eshu is asking you to look at your behavior, to look at your view of life. If you're feeling confused, if you're feeling angry, Eshu is asking you to observe yourself to why these feelings are arising. Because if you're able to observe yourself and understand why this feeling is arising, progress will be made. You will be able to find direction. See, this is why Eshu is at the crossroad. You understand? Because Eshu is directing people all the time. Directing Orishas. Directing everybody that comes to him. Eshu and Orunmila are best friends. Because Orunmila witnessed destiny. And Eshu helps to guide people on a path of destiny as Orunmila reveals things. This is powerful stuff, family. And I just had to come bring justice to the Orisha that has guided me my whole life, even at times when I rejected Eshu. Even at times when I didn't want to hear what Eshu had to say. Even at times where Eshu trying to show me stuff and I'm like, whatever. Eshu still stuck by my side until I figured it out. Because Eshu is very compassionate. Many say Eshu is the most compassionate Orisha because he understands both sides. And so being able to understand both sides adds to a deep compassion. You understand? If I can understand where you're coming from and where she's coming from, I can have compassion to help mend a situation. You see, that is Eshu. So don't get confused. Don't confuse like characteristics or like traits with exactness. Okay? Because that will be doing a big disservice to our ancestors and what they have laid forth for us. Okay? And for everybody that come into Orisha tradition, I hope that this video really helped you to grab an understanding of deeper of Eshu, what Eshu means to the world, what Eshu brings to the world, so that when people come to you with foolishness, oh, you worshiping Satan? Yes, that's Satan. You know, where people from West Africa will be, oh, Eshu is Satan because they got Christianized and everything else. You will have a leg to stand on and say, you don't understand your Bible, do you? Do you know in your Bible Satan was turning people away from God? Eshu doesn't turn people away from God. Eshu brings people to God. Eshu brings people closer to God. Yes. Yes, he does. Eshu brings people into their purpose. Eshu makes sure that people want what they say they want. He helps them understand themselves. He helps them to understand why they want the things that they want, so that they can live unapologetically without shame. This is what Eshu does. And with that said, family, I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Or Dabo.